This is a moving meditation practice designed to help you drop into the present moment. This is one to use anytime you're experiencing some level of uncertainty, be it something big or something small. Anytime you might be flirting with overwhelm, maybe you're having a hard time focusing your energy, you feel a bit cloudy in the mind. This is a great practice to invite some gentle movement in the body as a means to shed that energy, that uncertainty, and the discomfort that can come in that space. We allow the body to move, to feel, tap into the breath before sitting in a brief meditation where we will befriend the mind. We will befriend that energy that is present to allow us to feel whatever needs to be felt. So allow us to explore our emotions and our embodied practice, our embodied sensation in a way that is true, in a way that is not fabricated or generated by our thoughts on autopilot, but instead we allow ourselves to sit with what is present, with what is really going on. So I love this practice for the 2-week wait. If you are someone who is trying to conceive and you're in that period between ovulation and your next cycle, where you're just in that waiting mode and you need some way to channel your energy in a more productive way so that you don't spin out of control. This is a great practice for that. It's a great practice for the luteal phase, where maybe you have a dip in energy levels, but you still want to move your body and you still need a practice of coming back to center, coming back to the present moment. It can help alleviate some of the brain fog that might arise during this time in the cycle, and a great practice for anytime you need a movement break and you want a pattern interrupt. You need something to clear the slate so that you can look at the world with fresh eyes once again and come back to your body. We are moving through a yoga flow today, one where we will be mat bound for a large part of the practice. So it's helpful to have a comfortable surface for your shins and your knees, particularly if you're practicing on a hard floor with nothing but a thin mat. You might want a blanket or a cushion to use under your knees for greater comfort through some of this practice. And let's get started. Come to a comfortable place on your mat. Bring your hands to your heart. Allow your feet to be a little bit wider than hips width distance. Spread your toes. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Gently tone your low belly and bring your sitting bones toward your inner heels. Once you find stability here, you might take a moment to close your eyes. And in these first few breaths, allow your mind and body to arrive. So bringing your attention to the senses, what they perceive in this space, any smells, any sounds. Where do you feel energy in your body? Where do you feel heavy or light? Perhaps you feel sensation in some place. Just bring your attention to the body in this moment. And let that act of observation, that art of attention, be an anchor that continues to hold you in the present. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. If your eyes are closed, gently blink them open. You can relax your arms down by your sides. And just find your comfortable standing position here. With an inhale, reach your arms out and around overhead, stretch up through the fingertips, root down through the feet. And on your exhale, come to a cactus shape, let the elbows come out wide. Find that little bit of lift through the heart. Inhale once again, reach the arms up. And then as you exhale, swan dive with a gentle bend in the knees, fold over your legs. Relax the head and neck at the bottom, maybe a shimmy and a shake. Inhale, lift the spine halfway, lengthen crown to tail. And as you exhale, fold. Coming out the way we came in, reverse swan dive. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, let your hands come down by your sides. We'll do that twice more, just connecting movement with breath. Inhale, reach up, stretch through the fingertips. Exhale, find a cactus shape in your arms. Lift up through the heart, lengthen the sides of the waist. Inhale, re-extend the arms. And as you exhale with a gentle bend, fold over your legs. Allow the crown to be heavy towards the earth. Inhale, lift the spine halfway, mapping the movement onto the breath. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach the arms out and up, root down through the legs as you reach up through the fingertips. And exhale, hands by your sides. Last time here, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows, take them wide, broaden across the heart. Inhale, re-extend into that space. And as you exhale, fold over your legs. Use the full length of your breath. Inhale, crown to tail, stretch up. And as you exhale, fold. Root down through the legs. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. And as you exhale, hands by your sides. If you are with me in the middle of your mat, we'll transition to the top of your mat here. And once again, as you inhale, reach the arms out and up, stretch them overhead. And with that generous bend in the knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, lift the spine halfway, length from crown to tail. As you exhale, step your right foot back in space. Nice deep lunge here. Big breath in, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, let your right knee touch down, untuck the toes, press through the top of the foot. Inhale, reach the arms up in low lunge. Move your left shin forward and down. Then interlace your fingers behind your head. Press your head into your hands. Let the elbows stay wide as you lift up and arch back any amount. Gentle back bend here. Just really feeling the expansion across the front of the body. Last big breath, inhale. And as you exhale, the hands touch down. With your next breath, roll the hips back, straighten that left leg any amount. Find a bit of a shake with the tail side to side, really pressing through the heel. And again, not seeking for your maximum level of sensation, but just really something that you can feel. So something you can notice and observe. Hear the sensation in the back of the leg. As you inhale, come forward back through that low lunge. Kickstand your right shin behind you, so I'll be opposite you in movement as we turn to face the long edge. With your kickstand behind you, rise up in half warrior two. So the arms reach out to T. We find this level plane in the upper limbs. Gaze over your left fingertips and just experiment here with broadening the base, the bowl of the pelvis by moving the shin forward and back, that gentle rocking sensation to create flow wherever you need it. With your next breath, let your left forearm come to the left thigh, stretch your right arm up and overhead. As you do that, root down through the right shin so that you can elongate the right side waist. Coming up through center, reach both arms high. Turn your left toes now to face the long edge of the mat. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, the hands touch down. Keep your left leg extended and your right shin planted. Let the spine stay straight and strong here. And as you inhale, rotate the right arm open. Gaze at your right fingertips. Really work the twist into the upper back. And then as you exhale, thread that right arm under, reaching toward your left foot. Right ear comes to the mat, finding some rotation here, stretching the upper spine. And then slowly unravel, let that right arm spin open. And as you exhale, let it touch down. Start to take your right knee a bit wider so that you have an angle in your shin, and then lower your hips down to your right heel. Turn the left toes up. You can stay upright if that's important for you in the sensation in your inner thigh, or if it feels okay, begin to lower your forehead to the earth. Pillow your hands. Rest here for a breath or two. You might circle the left foot to change the sensation in the left inner leg. Again, just enjoying that art of observation. How can you notice what's happening in your body? Where do you feel your breath here? And we'll slowly press back up onto the hands. Keep your right knee as it is. Start to hug your left heel toward your left sitting bone. So we're coming into a bit of a goddess squat here, a goddess pose. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Let your spine lift up tall. I invite you to close your eyes here if that feels good for you. And just rest in the strength of this pose. So this very open position, one of strength, one of stability, one that brings you close to the earth, provides that stable foundation, that steady, energetic flow. Enjoy one more breath here. If your eyes are closed, gently blink them open once again. We'll pause in the center, bring your hands to the mat, and then let your big toes touch with the knees wide. So we're coming into a child's pose here. So the knees nice and wide. Once again, staying upright if that feels more supportive in your spine and your hips, or resting the forehead on the hands in a supported child's pose. If it's comfortable, you can soften the belly towards the earth. Really just allow the weight of your body to let go to gravity. So you feel that magnetic pull of your belly towards the mat. You might hear the sound of your breath echoing between your body and the earth. And only when you're ready, pressing back up onto the hands. So we'll explore the second side now in the reverse direction. So sort of the mirror image of the movement we've enjoyed so far. Let your left shin stay as it is. Bring your right foot to the earth, the heel hugging close to the right sitting bone. And you might switch the hand now, one hand to belly, one hand to heart. Once again, closing the eyes if that feels appropriate for you. Just allowing these moments of pause to drop you deeper into awareness. Meditation really is nothing more than paying attention. So what can you pay attention to here? What can you notice? Last big breath in. Slow breath out. Gently blink the eyes open, release your hands to the earth. Keep your left shin as it is. Extend your right leg out to the side, right toes facing the long edge of your mat. And then we'll come into that nice forward bend here, turning the right toes up now, flexing the right foot. Again, you can stay on the hands if you feel a lot of sensation here. Otherwise, folding deeper, resting the forehead on the hands. Allowing a gentle rock in the hips so that you might change the sensation just a bit in the inner thigh, something that might keep you captivated, interested, engaged. And then coming back up onto the hands as you are ready. Let your right shin become parallel to the short edge of your mat, so the knee in line with the heel. And then here we'll enjoy that upper body twist. Inhale, reach your left arm open, let it spin towards the sky, gaze toward your fingertips. And as you exhale, thread that left arm under, bring your left ear to the mat. Spider your right fingertips, press down to leverage a deeper twist here. And keep drawing the hip creases back in space, particularly your left hip crease, to level the hips, level the pelvis. We can focus the twist in the upper body. Slowly unravel here. Inhale, left arm extends. And exhale, return it to the ground. As you inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Turn your right toes to face the short edge of your mat. Bend into that right knee. So finding half warrior two here once again. Stretching the arms out to T, softening the shoulders away from the ears. And then observing how your upper body can move independent of your legs and hips. So can you square your shoulders to the long edge of your mat? With your next breath, right forearm comes down, left arm stretches up and overhead. Really press through the left shin so that you can elongate away. Inhale, come back up through center. And as you exhale, let your hands touch down to frame your right foot. Start to turn your left shin so that it mirrors the front leg, so that you're back in this low lunge. And then roll the hips back, straighten that right leg any amount. And this might be more dynamic where you're moving forward and back, or maybe you explore more of a static stretch. Whatever is called for, whatever your body needs. Finding that sensation here and really stay committed to observing it. So staying open to that signal from the body, receiving that information. Come forward into a lunge. Untuck your back toes if they're tucked. Press down through the back shin. Reach up, inhale. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Take the elbows nice and wide. Press your head into your hands. Soften the shoulders away from your ears. And then any amount as you breathe, lift the heart up and back. Offer the back bend. Find that space, that expansion across the front body. Slowly coming out in your own time. Hands frame the front foot. Tuck your back toes to lift the back knee. With your exhale, step your left foot to meet the right, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead. Reach as you root down. Exhale, let your hands melt down through your heart. Relax your arms by your sides. So we're coming now, the second half of our arc will travel back the way we came. As you inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. And as you exhale, step your left foot back into a nice wide lunge here, keeping the back knee elevated. And the same thing that we did with the back knee down, just start to roll the hips back and forth as you straighten that front leg, lift the front toes, and come forward. Feel that wave in the spine. So maybe you round the spine as you straighten the front leg, and then you extend the spine as you come forward, bend the front knee. So again, this need not look a particular way. You can find the static stretch. Maybe that's more called for you in this moment, or maybe the movement feels good. Just exploring not only the sensations you feel, but that co-creation that you have with your body, so you can make this practice your own. Come back into the lunge. Turn your back heel flat such that your front heel bisects the back foot, so it's aligned with the back arch. Let the right knee rotate open, the right hip open. Come into full warrior two. So again, let this posture be whatever it needs to for you. Maybe you're a little bit more upright. Maybe you're nice and deep into that posture. Let the arms reach out to T. Square the shoulders to the long edge of your mat. Telescope the ribs out of the pelvis. And then we'll move with breath here as you inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand down the back thigh, right arm up and back. And as you exhale, forearm to thigh. Left arm reaches overhead. Inhale, reverse warrior. Find this nice circular motion. And exhale, forearm to thigh, left arm overhead. Last one like this. Inhale, reach. And exhale. Extended side angle. As you inhale, come up through center. We'll turn now to face the long edge of the mat. Let your heels turn in, toes turn out, and squat deep into this nice wide open goddess squat. So shoulders are directly over the hips. Find that activation in the belly to support the movement in the pelvis. So it's not just dropping, it's engaged, it's supported and buoyant. You might rock side to side here. And then take the heel of your hand, fingers facing back behind you, and bring the heels of the hands to the inner knees. Press down, maybe shrug the shoulders a bit so that you feel some traction in the low spine. And then we'll flip the grip of the hands so the fingers point down and forward. And just dip one shoulder at a time, finding some rotation in the upper body as you press the knees out and open. You might even gaze up towards the sky. Big inhale, lengthen the crown of the head forward. And then as you exhale, slide your hands down your shins any amount. Maybe they find the ankles or the heels, and use your elbows to dial the knees out and open. Release your hands to the mat. Turn your toes towards the long edge of your mat so you're paralleling the outside edges of your feet. Big breath in. And as you exhale, fold any amount, letting the crown of your head be heavy towards the ground. Shift the weight forward into the ball mounds of your feet so you could almost lift your heels off the mat. And that helps align the hips over the ankles in that same plane. Rotate the inner thighs back in space. And as you inhale, lengthen the spine, so find that straight, strong spine, crown to tail. And then we'll just begin to bend alternate knees here, staying super wide. So how much space can you take up on your mat? Finding a little bit more movement, letting this be more dynamic here as we explore the second round, the second side. Come through center, gentle bend in the knees. Let your hands find your hip creases, slowly rise back up. Reach your arms overhead, inhale. Gaze over your left toes, turn them towards the short edge of your mat so that left hip now open. And as you're ready, drop into warrior two. Square the shoulders, feel that lengthening across the base of the pelvis. And from your left knee to your right shoulder, can you stretch those 2 points in space apart? Notice the difference you feel from one side to the other. And then we'll begin to flow. As you inhale, reach the left arm up and back, right arm down your thigh. Exhale, left arm to left thigh, right arm overhead. Inhale, reach, reverse warrior. Really inflate the lungs. Exhale, extended side angle. Rotating the shoulders open. Inhale, reverse warrior. Really expand the rib cage. And exhale, extended side angle. As you're ready, slowly come up through center, warrior two. And on the exhale, hands come down to frame your left foot. Start to come onto the back toes, find your lunge. We'll explore that rocking lunge here. So straighten the left leg any amount. Lift the left toes, feel that sensation in the back of the left leg. And come forward. With breath here moving, maybe adding some waves through the spine. And last one here, find your lunge. With an exhale, step your right foot to meet your left. Forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Reach down through the legs as you lift up through the arms. And exhale, hands melt down through heart center. I'll turn to face you here. Now we'll enjoy a balancing posture before we sort of come down to the mat and close our practice in a grounded way. So bring the feet hips width distance apart. Feel that stability in the legs. I'll be mirroring you in movement here, so we'll be the same side. As you're ready, inhale, lift your right knee into your chest. Just explore here what this feels like, changing to one leg. So find your balance first. Be not in a rush to get into the pose. We're moving toward tree. Then dial your right knee out to the side. Let it open. Drop the right hip down and under, so you feel that external rotation in the hip. And then place your right foot to the inner left leg, either above or below the knee, just avoiding that joint. Take a big breath here. Find your stability in every moment. So it's this ebb and flow as you come in and out of balance. And as you're ready, grow your branches tall. Reach the fingertips out and up. Let your gaze be wherever it needs to be for your balance. That could be out in front of you. Find a non-moving point. And as you grow your branches, I want you to imagine reaching for any fragmented pieces of yourself that might be drifting off, floating away. So maybe there's a work email that you're thinking about over here, or a commitment you have later today. Maybe you are recalling a conversation. All of these pieces that sort of send our energy away from the body, away from the present. Can you reach for them as you grow your branches tall here? And then with an exhale, draw those branches back into center. Bring your hands to your heart. So imagine just sort of collecting all these fragmented pieces and reintegrating them so that you can be whole and complete in this present moment. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Release your right foot down to the mat, shake out your left leg. And then as you give your body a bit of a shake here, just letting the arms release, letting go of any energy, kind of release expectation for what comes on the second side. So we'll begin to lift the left knee into the chest. Once again, getting comfortable with the single leg balance, leveling the hips where you can. Begin to dial the left knee open. And anywhere it feels comfortable, just avoiding the knee joint, bring your left foot to the inner right leg. Press the foot into your leg into your foot to create equal and opposite action. Once you find your balance, reach the arms up. And this time, once again, stretching the arms sort of as this symbol of gathering. So you're reaching for anything that might feel separate, anything you may have compartmentalized or kind of let go of, released, anything that might be taking your attention away, reach for it here. And then as if you could collect it with your fingertips, with your branches, draw your hands back to your heart. Let them rest here. With every breath, just embodying all parts of yourself. So anything that might feel a bit separate or stuck, and just let it settle here. Last big breath. Then exhale, release. And let your foot come down to the mat, once again shaking it out. We'll turn to face the short edge of the mat once again as we start to close our practice. Inhale, reach the arms up. Very generous bend in the knees, fold over your legs. As you reach your hands to the mat, lower shins to the earth. Let your shins and your feet be parallel and about hips width distance apart, and slowly rise onto the shins. We'll explore a gentle camel pose, so not your fullest expression by any means, but just more of this opening, this awakening of the front body. As you're ready, bring your hands to your low spine, right around the sacrums, that triangular bone at the base of the spine. You can have your fingers facing up or down, whatever feels most comfortable. Hug the elbows into each other, broaden across the collarbones. Root down through the shins. Start to fill the glutes into the hands, so really create that activation in the glutes. And then slowly begin to lift up and lean back. Press the thighs forward and away from you. Use your hands to lengthen the sacrum down towards the inner knees. And then stretch the heart up and back. Maybe you drop the head back. Lots of space in the neck. You should be able to speak and breathe clearly. Slowly coming out when you're ready. Letting your hands rest on the mat in front of you, resisting that urge to move straight into a forward bend. Instead, just allowing your spine to come to neutral. So really lengthening the crown away from the tail, coming into this tabletop position. Walk your hands out in front of you, stretch the arms long, lift your hips up and back, and then soften the heart, the belly, down towards the earth, maybe towards the thighs. For puppy pose, rest your forehead comfortably. Draw the shoulder blades toward the hips, so lengthen the back of the neck, the sides of the neck. And really activate the shoulder blades by pressing them onto the back of the heart. Feel external rotation in the shoulders. Slowly coming back up through table, now enjoying a deep cat pose as you press down into the hands, round the spine, draw your chin to your chest, tuck the tail under. Coming back through neutral, cross at your ankles. Transition to a comfortable seat. As you inhale, reach the arms overhead. And on the exhale, right hand comes down, left arm up and over to the side, deep side bend here. Back up through center, switching sides now. Left arm reaches down, right arm overhead. Come back up through center, reach your fingertips behind you, press through the finger pads to lift the heart. And then allow the soles of the feet to touch. So let your feet come nice and wide, your knees nice and wide. Don't worry if your knees are popping up, that's okay. And then start to tip your right knee down and let your left knee come up. Hug the heels close to the sitting bones and lift up tall through the chest. And bring your left arm to the inside of your left knee. You might reach the fingertips down and then rotate away from that left knee. So rotate to the right, take your right fingertips behind you. You can use your elbow to press into that left knee and just allow the spine to twist. This is an open twist, lots of space for belly and breath. So as you rotate, can you expand and inflate the lungs so much that you open the rib cage, you feel those intercostal muscles stretch and expand. Return to center nice and slow. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. We'll pause and reset in cobbler pose. So lift up through the spine, stretch the crown of the head forward and fold. Coming up only when you're ready, we'll switch sides. So let your left knee lower down to the mat, right knee hugs into the body. Coming into this open twist once again, the right arm inside the right knee, pressing that knee open. Take your left fingertips behind you and let the shoulders float over the hips so we're not leaning forward or back. See if you can lift the spine a bit taller as you rotate. Maybe gaze over the left shoulder. And then with all this space in the open twist, can you breathe more deeply? Come back through center. Find your comfortable seat. We will end our practice today with a brief meditation, just this opportunity to pause and observe. So you can stay in the seated position if you're feeling pretty alert, pretty awake, and you'd like to stay upright. Otherwise, you might lower onto your back, maybe bend the knees and bring the knees together, feet apart. So take a few moments to get comfortable here. Moving to whatever position feels most inviting. And then once you land there in that comfortable position, bring a hand to heart and a hand to belly. You can find a soft gaze or maybe even close the eyes. Relax the muscles in your face. Can you soften your eyebrows? Can you release the jaw? Maybe move the jaw side to side. And for the next few breaths, let your mind go where it wants to. Let it travel those familiar pathways, the habitual thought patterns that we gravitate toward when we're on autopilot. But a little differently this time, let yourself watch the mind. So be not tempted to follow it, but instead just observe where it wants to go, as if you were watching from above, watching the mind scurry from thought to thought. Just let it do what it needs to. When we start to notice these patterns, these habits of thought, we have a bit more agency over how they influence our state of being, so you can catch a thought in its tracks before it gets carried away. So just be in this exercise for a few moments more, just letting the mind kind of run out its energy, let it do what it needs to. Sometimes this is an act of vigilance. It's our mind's way of protecting us by making sure we've scanned for threats or for things we might have missed. And then in the same way that you might extend an invitation to a dear friend or someone you love, almost as if you're holding out your hand in this welcoming gesture, invite your mind here. How do we do that? Invite your mind here by paying attention to something happening in your body. The easiest, most obvious way is to watch the breath, to feel the breath in and out. Maybe you feel some temperature on your skin. Maybe you feel some residual sensation from the movement. And whatever it is, keep extending that invitation to notice, to feel. And as you give awareness and attention to what's happening now, you invite what you're really feeling to the surface. So it's not something that is fabricated by your thought patterns, not a familiar sensation that is generated by a mind on autopilot, but instead when you allow yourself to be in your body, embodied in this moment, whatever needs to be felt has space to be felt. Be with whatever arises. Maybe you feel joy, maybe you feel a heaviness. You might feel tears, you might feel a tingling in your belly, in your chest. Just be with that, be with the sensation. I encourage you to stay here as long as you can, as long as you need, as long as you like. And if you're ready to join me, just releasing your hands by your sides. If your eyes are closed, gently blinking them open and letting your awareness broaden through the eyes out into the space. I want to thank you for being here today, for showing up, and for staying present. And know that this practice is available to you anytime. If you feel your mind drifting off and it's hard to get it back, just bring your attention. Start to observe something that's happening in your body. It can be the breath, it can be anything that your senses are perceiving. And that helps you ground wherever your body is. It helps you inhabit your body more fully, more presently. So thank you once again for being here and for letting your body be moved.